Hello, Facebook ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hi, guys, another podcast. So, today we are going to talk a little bit more about the results that we have in this period. I'm a little bit skeptical about the results that we have right now because I could see that in January we started very well with very good ROAS, very good CPMs, and everything. Now I can see that the CPMs are increasing. So what is happening is this. Um, I think that a lot of people, after they stop doing ads for the Christmas period, they are coming just right now. I can also see it from the people that they talk to me about handling their ad accounts. Most of them, they started coming back this week. So before that, I don't know why in Greece we don't do that, but the first week of the year, the results were very good, and I believe that a lot of people were not actually doing ads. Another thing is maybe a lot of people they needed some time to create creative, so it took them more time to do so. But now I can see that the CPMs are rising and the results are a little bit lower from what we expect. The other thing though is that I think that the results are going to be much better probably around the end of the month because we have the Chinese New Year at that point, and I think that a lot of people like dropshippers are going to stop advertising, which is very good news for everyone. So be patient a little bit for 1 or 2 weeks, and then the results are going to recover, and we will have some very good results again because a lot of people will stop advertising and we will have better CPMs. So start building from now your base with good ads and everything so that you can be ready to scale in that period. Another thing is that I have created 4 new videos that most probably you're going to see in the next month. But there's some very good videos which I'm going to post on the channel. One of them is about Advantage Plus. Still, I wanted to talk a little bit about it here. The video is all about how you can scale with Advantage Plus campaigns. We have mentioned it in other podcasts that what you should do is that whenever you see an Advantage Plus campaign, most of the times they're actually optimizing for one ad, and which is the leader ad, and then we have other 1 or 2 of them that they're actually going to have some good results or spend. Um, Two things about that. First of all, if you see that your leader ad is not doing well, you should go in the second, third day and close it so that you can give the budget to the other ad sets so that you can optimize a little bit your Advantage Plus. Other than that, there is no other optimization that you can do in Advantage Plus. And the other thing is that if you see one Advantage Plus campaign working and one ad actually having very good results, duplicate the campaign and run it without the ad that is having a very good results, because the Advantage Plus is working by focusing in one main ad. So that means that it's not going to test enough all of the other ads in order for you to see if you have more good creatives and everything. So in my opinion, you should do that. It's going to help you scale. It's going to help you not looking for new creatives all the time, because with that way you can also test all the other creatives and see if it's working. And if it's working, duplicate it again and run it without the other one until you have one campaign that is not working or until you scale it enough. So that's with Advantage Plus. I'm showing live accounts and case studies on how I'm doing it there and how it's helping me to scale. And also one thing that I mentioned also in the video, which is very important, is that when you do Advantage Plus campaigns and you use a catalog in your ad, be sure that it's going to take all of the budget. So be careful with that, because just know that when you use a catalog with other normal ads, the whole budget is going to go on the catalog. It doesn't mean that the catalog is the best ad. This is how I actually started testing duplicating and not using the catalog. I realized that all of the times that I put a catalog with other normal ads, catalog is getting all the spend, which led me to the conclusion that it's not actually optimizing the best creative, but it's optimizing the one that maybe it's easier for Facebook, whatever. So the situation is that be careful with your catalogs in your Advantage Plus campaigns. Another thing, one more video, it was created about USA and having a business in the United States, United Kingdom. I want to say some things about that. So A lot of times I see people that they use the same ad account so that they can advertise in United States, United Kingdom, which I don't think that it's correct unless if the spend is very small. If you have a very small spend, it's fine. Everything is fine if you have a very small spend. But if you want to scale to bigger numbers, you need to start using different ad accounts, different subdomains, and different pixels for the different countries that you want to target. And let me tell you how I see this. So we have United States, Canada, one ad account and pixel. We have United Kingdom, one ad account. Then we have the whole Europe. And then we have Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, whatever. So these are the different categorization that you have to do, and you need to have the different accounts and different pixels because there are several reasons. Let me tell you why. There are different demographics in each of these countries. For example, the way that people are eating, it's completely different. Maybe the vegan population has different ages in Europe from United States. Maybe we're having the situation of people getting married much older in some countries from the others. So the demographics are different. So using one pixel for all of these countries doesn't make any sense because the demographics are so different that at the end of the day, you're trying to train a pixel that is going to become super powerful in selling everything. We don't want that. We want a pixel that is going to understand our ideal avatar, even if that means that it's going to be for different countries. Another thing, and for me, this is the most crucial to be honest with you, it's the reset of the daily budget. So when you're having an ad account, it has 1 hour, which is set to. Is it going to be New York time? Is it going to be Pacific time? Is it going to be London time? Whatever. If you're having ads from different countries, they're going to reset, the budget is going to reset to different hours. For example, it might reset during your prime hours, which is 5 to 11 o'clock in the night, which is the prime advertising hours. Maybe it's going to reset around that point, which is not good. So the other thing is that we want to be able to create ads at the 6 a.m. the next day, but when you do it like this, it's a little bit problematic. So the reset of the day and the way that you're optimize the ad account is also very important. So if you have a time zone of United States and you have an ad account in Singapore, it's going to be very difficult for you to optimize. It's also going to be really disturbing for the ads to during the day to cut the budget. The reason that Facebook is actually resetting the budget at 12 o'clock in the night is a very valid reason because it's closing 24 hours in normal hours. And of course, 24 hours is not the prime time. If it wasn't a problem, then the budget would reset, for example, at 8 o'clock in the night, okay? But it doesn't make any sense. So when you have another account that is advertising in different time zones and you are having different countries and different reset of the budgets for the different hours of the days that you need to follow, it's impossible to do it with one ad account. So it means that you have to use multiple ones with different pixels. Have I worked in other accounts that they have one pixel for several countries? Yes. But if you want to make it seriously and you want to scale and you are a big business like the case study that I show in my video, it's impossible to do it like this. Another video, it was created about the breakdown of results. Let me tell you that the breakdown of results, they were removed in 2022 after the changes that we had for the iOS. And now I can see that they are coming back, at least for my accounts, I can see the last 30 days. And what's the difference? We had the breakdown of results for the dynamic ads. This is something that was never removed, but something that actually was removed is that when you go and you break down the results and you want to see where the sales are coming from, for example, which ages, which country, which gender, which platform, which placements. You could see only the spend, which led us to the conclusion that we are going to follow the money, the spend, and see if our campaign is actually profitable. With the spend that we have, we are going to understand based on the spend, wherever it's spending the most money, that means that in this specific placement, it's actually working well. But this is not the truth, and we know that because I used to do ads before 2022, of course, and for many years before that, and I know that these were very crucial information. For example, in this video that I was doing, while I was doing it, I was shocked because I saw one of the brands that I think that is very visual with very good creatives that I'm having, and I was showing as a case study there that it had much better results on Facebook. Actually, 90% of the sales came from Facebook for a specific ad that I was analyzing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take this specific ad and I'm going to run it on Instagram, because I don't believe that Facebook is the only platform that it can sell. And it's the same thing as Advantage Plus. I don't believe that only one ad is every time is the one that's going to optimize. I duplicate it and I run it again because I believe that it has more juice on it. So there are things like gender, ages, which is very important. You can see in which ages you are having the most sales. You can duplicate your campaign and focus on these ages in order for you to have faster sales in this hot pocket of age that is working. You can break down by platforms and you can see which platforms are actually the ones, of course, if it's Facebook and Instagram, which is working. Maybe like what I thought, you can test the other platform alone to see if it's going to spend the same amount of money with good results. Or you can see that you're having mixed results in both of them. So you can do two campaigns, one for Facebook, one for Instagram, focusing different budgets to those so that you can break your funnel more and you can scale. Very good results. You can see exactly the number of sales that you are having for each one of the different breakdown results that you are looking. And I think that this video is also going to be very interesting, along with the fact that it's proving my idea about automatic placements. I'm doing some calculations there to show you how much money you're losing on automatic placements, because now with breakdown of results, and this is why I have made one video when the breakdown of results were gone at the start of this YouTube channel, and I was furious about it because I wouldn't be able to prove my hypothesis that Facebook is pushing the automatic placements because they're actually making money out of it. So the thing is that now it's much more clear, and I'm very happy because I would be able to show you with actual calculations how they make money out of it. And of course, now that we have it, we can start with automatic placements and then break down to duplicate a campaign and break down to whatever it has actually worked as a placement. The only thing that I have seen as an extra, remark is that now I can see that we can add one more placement to what we have. So it's Facebook feed, Instagram feed, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels, I can see in several breakdowns that I'm doing that they are having sales, consistent sales. And I can see some sale here and there from marketplace and stuff, but they're very random and just one sale and stuff. Something that I have seen that is working better and better is the Instagram Reels, and I need to tell you that you should also watch them and just include them. If you believe to what I say, include them to let's go to 5 placements now instead of 4 that I'm proposing to my channel. All of these are things that you're going to see in the videos. I think that you are going to like them because they have actual ad accounts and the results that they're showing. And I created one more video about post IDs. So we have discussed a lot about that, but for me, my whole philosophy about scaling ad accounts, and of course, I'm showing also some of the posts that I have used in this video in the past, not the actual post, but how many comments they have and likes, in order to understand how important it is. So let's analyze it a little bit here also. The way that this works, the way that the videos, the way that this podcast is working is, I want you to, I want us to have a discussion, okay? Even if I'm talking alone here, I want to have a discussion with all the things that I'm doing. I just want to analyze them a little bit more here because, frankly, I have the time, and it's easier for me to just analyze everything that I have in my mind just in one video instead of doing different ones, so that they can be more appealing and more people are going to watch them. So let's analyze a little bit about the post IDs and how they work. So whatever we are doing when we want to scale an account, and of course we're talking about scaling here, okay? We're not talking about a normal situation that we're going to do normal ads or whatever. let's say that we want to scale an account. We have, first of all, the base, which is actually doing campaigns with all of the things that I'm teaching you. The crazy methods, stack lookalikes, whatever you can imagine that you can do, like normal ads, interest CBO campaigns, taking an interest that is working and do crazy methods. So the first is all about technical strategies based, that you can have some campaigns and scale a little bit. This is going to help you scale a little bit. A little bit more, it's going to help you if you have different creatives. So different creatives is something that you cannot influence. It's going to come from the creative team or from the store owner, or you're going to be the store owner and you're going to create new ones. And it's helping you from the fact that you are penetrating the market from different entry points. We said the example with the car, that some people are going to be convinced by a video that shows the outside of the car, so they like the aesthetics. There are some other people that they're going to be convinced by watching a video that somebody is driving a car with a beautiful lady next to them, so they like the lifestyle that this car is giving. And another one is going to be when a car, for example, is going to have a video with the specs, like the horsepower and everything, and somebody is going to be convinced by that. So it's a different angles that they're going to convince people to actually buy a product, and this is something that is also going to help you scale, because you are actually more appealing to different hot pockets inside your ideal audience that you can target on Facebook, and because you are showing more uses of the product that you are trying to sell. And we know that people are lazy and they want to see how they can use the product in order for them to buy it. Even when you show lifestyle videos, they actually project themselves on how they're going to look if they use the product. So it makes total sense that with more creatives and by penetrating the market from different entry points and different sales perspectives, you're going to have more sales. And then we have the third situation, that is that you take these two before and you put them on manual bidding. So with manual bidding, I have seen accounts that they spend 100K. Normally with only this, spend 200K, because manual bidding was another category on its own. It's much more advanced, I know, but I know also that there are people in this channel that they are using it because they have contacted me for questions and stuff. And of course, manual bidding is very difficult for me to explain through chat and everything, but I'm doing consulting with several people on manual bidding, and I can tell you that I'm not the only one. It's working on several accounts, and it actually helped them scale a lot. It's actually, when it's working, because it's not working on all accounts, I can tell you that it's going to scale accounts to double the money that they used to spend. And then we have the fourth one, which is the post IDs. So whatever we're discussing here for the three previous one, what is more crucial? The credibility, guys. When you're having credibility in something, you can scale to massive numbers. This is why we are putting reviews to our stores. This is why when you have some comments that they say that this is good and I bought it and everything, it's more important from having a good creative. I have seen very bad creatives that they have social proof that they're working very well. So, and it makes total sense, okay? When you buy something, you also want to see if someone else has bought it. This is why we have the reviews on Amazon and everywhere. So whatever we're doing on the other three, imagine that multiplied by 4 this time, because whenever you have good creatives that you're taking from your dynamic ads or whatever, you can use them as post IDs into your Advantage Plus campaigns and into your dynamic ads campaigns that you're going to do with all the different methods that we mentioned and with all the different creatives that you can actually do after that. And when you have them as posts, all the engagement is going to stay there, and you're bidding posts that are going to become beasts, and they're going to have so much credibility and so many comments and everything, that the first person that is going to start competing with you, because this is a huge competition that we have on Facebook as marketeers, but also as business owners with other business owners that they have similar products, guess who is going to win? The one who is going to have a beast post, which is going to have all of this engagement and all of these comments for credibility. So credibility wins everything, and it's the king. And I can tell you that whenever I'm scaling accounts, this is my last step, which is also the step of explosion, because after you define which creatives are working and you're just making a post and you start building it, then believe me, this is going to help you scale 4 times more from what you used to scale. And this is how I scale businesses to 1 million spent per month and everything. I wouldn't be able to do it without having posts that are very strong. And let me tell you, also posts are not getting they're not getting fatigue effect on them. I have been using post IDs for 2 years now in some accounts, and they are still beasts, and they are having even more and more and more crazy posts that they are just producing money. They are the biggest asset that a company can actually have after the Facebook pixel. So that's the videos that I have created for you. I hope that you're going to enjoy them in the next weeks, and whenever I'm going to make videos, I'm actually going to make a small brief so that you will know what you can expect. Now, based on the last thing that we said over here, I would like to make I was watching the other time a Greek ad actually. I don't know if it's in your country also, but there are a lot of companies now that they're trying to sell these very small, compact electric cars. And they look very ugly. And I don't know who is going to buy them. To be honest with you, I have seen only one in my life, someone driving it. And it was actually a car for a drugstore. So I guess they were taking some drugs to customers through the city, because it was having also their logo on it and everything, which makes sense in a way if you use it like that. But whoever is going to use it in a normal way, I don't know. So based on what I said on the post, I saw a post which had a lot of engagement, okay? It had a lot of likes and a lot of comments, but all of the comments were like bad. They were saying that it's a battery garbage. It's going to look ugly. They said that, oh my God, who's going to pay 5,000 for this? This and that. You cannot even go to the, I don't know, to the next city with it, whatever. And I could see all of these comments. And this is also something that we have mentioned in the past year. Having engagement, it's completely different of having bad engagement, because the way that the credibility is working when somebody is saying something good, it's going to work in an opposite way. So Facebook doesn't have the rule that they say that negative advertisement is a good advertisement. It's not. And it's going to ruin your results, because the more people are being toxic and you're not stopping it, it has a snowball effect, and people are more and more and more toxic. So when you are having the post IDs and you are actually using them, you need to be also able to monitor them, because after some point with these very high spends, and this is something that I actually forgot to mention on the video, but it's good because I guess some people that they are loyal and they are watching the podcast, they are going to be benefited more. So whenever you are having these high, big posts, you need to have also a team which is going to monitor them. And you need to hide the negative comments, not because you have something to hide. First of all, because as Einstein said, human stupidity is endless, and you cannot just go and just debate with everyone about it. If you think that it's worth it, make your comment, whatever, and try to explain this or that. But if you see that it doesn't worth it, just hide the comment. When you hide the comment, the person that has done the comment, they can actually still see it, so that they can be happy that they have done something with their life, and their friends can also see it, but nobody else can. So you are actually protecting all of this that you have built with your posts, because the moment you are leaving one bad post, then there are more people that are going to come, because people are working with masses, okay? So whenever they see, have you seen this thing that you are on the street, for example, you see something happening, two people fighting, for example. There's one, maybe you are watching this for 10 minutes. One guy goes there and says, hey, stop what you're doing. And then you see another 5 go and they do it. This is why, because we are working with masses, okay? Whenever we see something, then we say, I'm going to do it also, okay? And then you go in because you got the approval from the first person who is the leader here of the pack, and he's actually saying that this is not good. So you say, oh yes, it's not good, so I'm going to also intervene here. So it's not only about having post IDs in order to scale, it's also about monitoring over there so that you don't have negative comments and stuff. And even if you have some negative, and you can address them. So whatever you're going to do there, it has to be in your advantage. For example, if somebody is putting a comment which is bad. I'm not saying that you should hide all of them, but you have to win something from the conversation that you make. For example, if somebody says, I took mine in 7 days, you can check his name, and you can come back and say, hey, we can see that you have received your product in 3 days. The order number is this and stuff. We don't know what happened with the post office and everything. So you're showing that you're very serious about it, and maybe the person is going to reply and is going to say, okay, thank you, whatever. So you're addressing things when you have something to win. If you don't, you're just hiding it. Sadly, this is what you have to do. Sorry, but having a Facebook page or advertising with your own product and everything, it's a dictatorship and not a democracy. The other thing is that with this specific post that I was watching, I could see that it was having so many negative comments, and nobody was actually monitoring it because I was able to see it, which actually made me thinking that nobody would ever buy this. Okay, so even if someone who is, because what is the credibility doing here, guys? It's actually helping people who are not sure if they are going to do something. It's helping them to convince if they're going to buy or not. And for me, that's a huge mistake on their part. And I think that this item is going to sell zero. Because, and something else, whoever is analyzing this, always what I do, guys, is when I'm watching something having crazy engagement, I'm going and I'm watching the comments, because you can have super easily crazy engagement with negativity, but it's super difficult to have crazy engagement with positivity. It's much more easier for people to be negative and just toss a comment instead of them being positive and say how much they like a product. The thing here is that don't just watch the ads manager and see that you have very good cost per post engagement or good clicks, but just watch also the videos. When I see crazy numbers, I go and I watch the comments and I make sure that this is not the case. Now, I will try to also give you a link here. I have it. I hope that the comment is still, the comments and everything is still up. Not the comments, just to see the car and how it looks. We will try to hide everything in terms of brand and everything so that there is not going to be any issue with our podcast, but I'm going to try to show you the picture of how it looks. And I'm not saying that it's the most beautiful car in the world, but if this is a difficult item to sell, don't make it more difficult for you. Now, another thing that I wanted to say is that we have some breaking news with Facebook. They actually have a new fine that they have to pay. It's 390 million euros, and it's coming from the European Commission. It's because of the way that they are operating with the advertisement on the mobile phones. Now, my opinion about these fines and everything, and of course in Europe we have the GDPR regulation about the personal information and everything. Let me tell you that all of this is total BS. Even if somebody is harassing you, so it's easy for them to put a $390 million fine to Facebook because it's Facebook, but it's very difficult for me to actually sue all of these motherfuckers that they call me about Forex trading from different countries, and I can do nothing about it because the European Union doesn't protect me or whatever. So either you do it all way, and you're protecting people even from these idiots that they're trying to spam me all the day, and they call me all the day about telling me how idiot I am that I'm not spending my money on Forex, or you're not doing it at all. Because if the goal here is just to sue Facebook so that some liberals or some communists are going to be happy that you're suing a very big company, then this is not I don't think that this is the biggest benefit that we can have from that. Do we need a regulation about personal data? Yes, guys, we need. I believe that personal data is the most valuable asset that each one of us has, okay? And it would be very easy for me to say that we don't need it because it's going to make my life much more easier. To have more options to target people and be creative about it and everything, it would be amazing. But at the end of the day, I need to tell you that we need to protect that. if we don't want to lose our souls to it, and if we don't want to become total scumbags that we don't care about and we just target people. One example and one reason that I'm not taking these clients is that right now, if you are 30 to 35, most probably you are seeing one ad every week for a dating site. It's not okay, for me at least, for my ethics, to target married people so that they can find a girlfriend through a dating site. It's not okay. I don't like it. And if you have more information about people, for example, the fact that somebody is married and slept in an Airbnb in his city for 3 days. Nice, huh? It means that he got in a fight with his wife. The fact that you can see if at the nights he's sleeping next to his wife phone. These are good data to have, and you can see how dirty my mind can become, okay, and have crazy ideas about how to target people that they're ready to divorce with their wife, so that you can show them a very good girlfriend in a dating site. So I think that we can protect it. For example, in United States, some years ago, we could target people that they were owning a dog. We could target people that they were owning a house. For example, let's say that you sell a water filter. It's easier to sell it to people that they own a house. But we cannot do all of this because of the regulations that you have. Okay, it's making our life more easier, but I think that it's necessary. Because if this is not going to happen, and I'm just making this discussion for the people that they're younger and they're just thinking, why? We need so many options to target. You're opening the Pandora's box after that, and you don't know what is going to happen. And if you haven't watched the Cambridge Analytica Netflix series, you have to go and watch it so that you can understand how filthy we can become as marketeers with the crazy ideas that we have. And I'm sure that if somebody gave me the tools to do it, I was going to also do it. Okay, not trying to target married people to find a girlfriend, but I would do other kind of things in order to have good results here and there with my creative ideas. I'm creative now. Imagine if I had even more tools in terms of targeting. Now, one more thing that I have to say is about the marketing ideas and how simple they have to be. So I was talking the other day with one of my clients. She's a lovely lady in Australia. Her name is Stephanie. I don't think she's watching my podcast, but if she is watching, hi Stephanie. The thing is that with Stephanie, what's really what I understood from, because I'm always getting ideas and stimulation from a lot of my clients or students or consulting calls or whatever. So when I started working with her, I could see that she has, and I'm not going to go into details, she has a very complex site in the way that it's working. So somebody orders something, but then they have to send something back because it's all about sustainability and stuff in the eco-friendly space and so on. So all of that, for someone who is just being introduced with an ad immediately, it's something that maybe it's going to be overwhelming or they are not going to understand. First of all, which is very rare, to be honest with you, there are a lot of people that they create sites and they think that these are the best sites in the world with the best possible way of explaining everything. So when I put some of my copywriters to write copies, the copies that we produced she didn't like because she thought that they were not representing what she wanted as a plan. She didn't say that the copywriters did a bad job, which is for me the best attitude. And she said, that means that we have a problem in our site. So whenever you are having a site or whatever, don't put your friends, put a third person. Okay, but not a third toxic person that you, and by the way, be careful how you phrase it. When you come and you say, hey, I want you to come and criticize my site, what he's going to do, it's going to be a criticism. When you say, hey, can you watch the site and understand what am I selling? Can you tell me what am I selling? The first thing that I'm watching the sites that I go is that, can I see in 2 minutes inside the site what they're selling? Can I understand? A lot of times we have these company sites that they say, we do our work through sustainability methods and we always try to provide the best results for our clients in the financial space and stuff. You don't say what you're doing. Tell us what you're doing. We're having clients all over the world and we're managing their portfolio of investments in Forex trading, for example, okay? Tell us what you're doing. So there are all of these sites that they have general information and they're not going to explain what they're doing. And frankly, you don't have a lot of time with clients from Facebook and stuff because it's a platform that it's actually a platform that it's an impulsive platform and you don't have a lot of time to convince them. You have convinced them already once to come to your site with your creative. Try to make your landing page better explaining what you're doing so that they can understand if this is for them or not. And another thing is that she went and she said, okay, we have a problem with our site. If your copywriters that you're using for so many years, they have a problem of understanding this or that, then that means that we have to phrase it another way. And she started working with that. And we have seen after that that we are having much better results because of the way that she did some changes. Another thing is that I understand that a lot of times some people, they have complex ideas and everything, but when it comes to marketing, guys, and to mathematics and to physics and everything, the most beautiful things are the simple things. Why do we love Einstein? Because in just this small space, he created something that explains the whole universe. So if we can have simple ideas, okay, no matter how complex they become later in our funnel, simple ideas at the start and which are becoming complex later, it's fine because Einstein's relativity theory, it's also becoming complex later. If we have that, then we are having the best basis so that we can start advertising. And in my opinion, a marketing idea, it has to be simple on its core. After that, it can become super complex. But when I see people that they come to me and they say, we want to do that and then do another campaign that is going to target only the people of 7 days. And then after the 7 days, we want to target people of 14 days with this and that. No, this is never going to help you scale. Never. If you have such a complex way of doing ads, it's never. I'm not talking about having consolidation with one campaign, which is what a lot of agents do. Okay. But I'm talking about having a structure which is going to help you scale. Something that is not going to be tailor-made for 7 days people, tailor-made for 14 days people, tailor-made for 30 days, tailor-made for middle of funnel. All of this is going to take you so much time that you're going to just watch the tree and miss the whole forest. I don't know if you use this expression to your country, but we do. So the thing is that simple ideas means scaling, and the art over here is, for example, I have a new client right now. His name is Jake. He's selling wheels. He's also very busy. I don't know if he's watching, but I know that he's watching some of my videos because I have met him through YouTube. I think that his way of selling is so complex because his product is complex and he's having so many items. The first thing that I told him is that, look, I will try to find a way of simplifying that, of actually trying to be able to because your account is different, you have more expensive items, maybe later the 20 days attribution is going to help us. But for now, you're doing it in a complex way that is not helping us at all. We need to do it in a very simple way. And this is also the reason, guys, that when I'm going in a new account, I'm asking, what is your bestseller? We're not going to focus into the whole site. We're going to focus on the bestseller because this is what is selling. This is what is going to help us scale and whatever. And then we are going to find another bestseller and so on and so on. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention here is, and by the way, based on that, I need to say also on the previous, I need to say also that for me, Facebook is the art of failing. If you don't fail, you're not going to succeed. And this is the sad truth. Whatever we're doing, even with dynamic ads, even when they are working, we have a failure inside of the other ads that of the other creatives that they haven't worked. And this is what is happening all the time with Facebook. You test, you fail, and something is working. Without failing in Facebook, you don't have good results. So the more failures that you have in another account, the more you're closer to the success. And let me tell you also that on my side, I'm not, I consider myself a good advertiser. To be honest with you, I consider myself one of on the top 5. Maybe it sounds a little bit crazy, but based on what I see on other accounts that I go and what other people do, sadly, this is my truth. Maybe I'm too naive or whatever. But I consider myself on the top 5 of the Facebook and Instagram marketeers. The thing is that in order for me to get there, I had so many failures, guys, and so many accounts that I wasn't able to scale, so many accounts that I just failed miserably and stuff. Just because I'm coming here from a podcast or from another account and I'm presenting my good at accounts and stuff, it doesn't mean that I don't have failures. But as you can understand, and here I'm completely transparent with you, my success rate is about 70 to 80%. This high percentage is because I'm picking my clients. If someone just gave me clients and stuff, it would be much less. But because I'm picking my clients and I'm taking clients that they have good working funnel and whatever, and good working product and another account that has some spend and everything, I managed to have this kind of results. But even through that process of picking my clients, I also have my failures. But each one of my defeats or failures in other accounts, it's bringing me closer to the success of other accounts that I'm taking, because I am learning. I'm learning every day. So if you're having bad results into your ad account, if you don't know what to do next and stuff, my answer is keep trying, because the more you're failing, the more you're setting yourself ready for your next business or for the next ad which is going to work into your ad account. And don't think that people like me, who are presenting a perfect image by their videos and the results that we show you, because it makes sense, guys. We're going to show you our successes, our best results. It's like you're telling me that a girl in Instagram is going to post her morning picture without wearing any makeup and stuff. No, she's going to, even my wife, when she's getting dressed for a Saturday night, she's going to take a picture, okay? Just because it's at her best. We're going to show our best results, and of course, in my channel, sometimes I'm showing also failures and stuff, which is an exception. But I'm also trying to show you what I'm capable of doing, and what are you capable of doing if you follow my methods. So don't forget, one failure brings you closer to the success, and one failed account or one failed business brings you closer to your personal success as an entrepreneur or as a marketeer. One more thing is that I was observing the other time during the Christmas period, my parents scroll on social media. To be honest with you, my parents are always the best way to look how people are behaving on social media, because they are so naive when it comes to Facebook, and they're clicking stuff here and there, and they don't understand what is advertisement and everything. I just love it. So she was telling me that she wanted to buy something, and she was telling me, but I have seen it on Facebook, and she was trying to scroll just to find it. Was an advertisement, okay? So for you to scroll all the time just to find it again, it's impossible. But I could see the whole history of how Facebook was actually advertising her from different angles. Okay, so she was looking for something. Let's say the product. So my family has 300 olive oil trees. So she wanted to get a portable chainsaw for the pruning. She was looking for that. She says, but I saw one that it's for X amount of money. She was looking, then we were watching another brand with this product. Then we were watching another brand with this product. And she was clicking to all of that to find it, okay? So if it was a carousel, she was scrolling. So she was engaging with this ad. So Facebook was understanding this person wants to buy a pruning chainsaw. So a portable pruning chainsaw with battery. So it was showing. Then it was showing other products that they were not with battery, but with normal petrol. Not petrol. Benzene? Diesel. Not diesel. Petrol is I think it's called petrol. With petrol anyway. So it was having with petrol, and then she wasn't engaging with those, so she was continuing, and then it was showing again batteries. But then it was trying to show equipment for pruning. She wasn't engaging with those, but it was scrolling down. She was showing more brands with portable ones. And she found, after some time, she found actually the one that she was looking to show me. She showed this to me. By the way, She was doing that for 1 hour. I just told her, okay, you are not going to find it. And she came the next day and said, I found it, I found it. So she was most probably being retargeted by the retargeting ad for engaging on the ad on the next day, which makes total sense. And then she was getting more ads about this kind of products, more expensive ones. I could see also the price ranges. So at the start, it was showing cheaper. Then it was showing more expensive. The moment she was not engaging with expensive, it was showing cheaper. So it was a crazy back and forth engagement with Facebook and advertisers. And I can tell you that the moment it was showing one ad, for example, she was clicking or engaging with one ad, then she was getting more on this brand and stuff. So I understood a lot of things by that engagement. And I could tell you that, so this is how Facebook is doing it. Whenever you're seeing something, it's actually understanding by your engagement if you're staying there for a long time, if you're scrolling and stuff, and showing you more people and more people and more people. This is why, guys, the creatives are important, because somebody might be watching something, but maybe with your creative is going to be convinced to buy or not. And then you're having also the products that they are actually similar to the products that somebody is watching, or you are having products that they're in the same category, like the equipment, like having another item which is helping you to gather the olives, and so on and so on. It was actually a fun engagement. If your parents have Facebook and they send you good morning and good night every single day, and you have to answer so that you will have to be polite, at least try to benefit from that fact and try to see how they behave on social media. You will be amazed by the things that you will see. Another thing that I understood, guys, just for the context over here, back in the days, one of my first hustles was that I was trying to, I learned actually, and I did several sites in Joomla. I really liked programming and everything. The first site that I did, it had a black background because I like gaming also. So it had a black background. I realized that my father went there, and after 2 minutes of reading, he took out his glass and says, this site makes me dizzy. And then I started reading and I saw why the sites are not black and they have white letters, because it makes you dizzy. If you want, you can try it to go in a black background and put white letters and try to read it for some period. You will see that after some point, it will start, you will start seeing more white and stuff. It's going to be super irritating. So I said to myself, okay, point one, after I finished the site, of course, and with endless hours on it. And okay, I said, that's a mistake. Another thing is that, do you know these sites that when you go, you scroll down and more things open, you scroll down, more things open, you know? These are the drop down things that you can put, and they have also different elements that they come like this, or they come with a different element inside. I realized that I said to my father, go there, and he goes there, and he just doesn't scroll down, you know, because as young people, what we do is that we scroll immediately down. This is what I do in every site. I just scroll. It's in my nature. When I go, I don't just stay there. Because below there was nothing to indicate that he could scroll, he didn't scroll because he didn't understand that he has to scroll in order for more things to appear. So for me, my parents are very good. I really like to experiment with them when I want to show them something in order to see their behavior, because the way that we are thinking as a young generation which is trained to social media is completely different from them. And there are some businesses, let me tell you, that they have the luxury of selling items to 40 plus or to 50 plus people, and these are the best audiences. They are much easier to sell to. They can work with less creative creatives and stuff. Everything is much easier there. I have 1 or 2 brands there, and I can tell you that I'm doing massive numbers with them. One last thing. Let me see if I said everything. Yeah. One last thing before we move. I was having a discussion about TikTok. So A lot of times I have people that they come to me and they say, can you do Google Ads? I have a very good friend of mine. His name is Jonathan. He's doing Google Ads. So I'm giving the referral. But do I have anyone for TikTok? The answer is yes and no, because I don't think that TikTok is super powerful yet. The problem with TikTok is this. I have seen some brands working with it, but I have seen other brands that they just do, the CPMs are very low, the clicks are very low, but at the end of the day, it's not working. Let's be fair about it. And let me tell you my honest opinion about TikTok, which is coming from a guy who is going to compete later with TikTok because I'm on the Facebook and Instagram side, unless if Facebook decides to close them. Zuki decides to close them. The situation is this. We cannot compare pears with apples because Facebook is having a very super sophisticated trained algorithm and TikTok doesn't. TikTok is just a baby. And I think that companies that are very serious and they have big scaling on Facebook and Instagram and on Google, they need to just do some basic advertising on TikTok so that they can be ready when the time comes. Because TikTok is going to become huge at some point. I don't know how they're going to fix the way that somebody goes to TikTok on their toilet and they're watching videos just because they want to poop. Okay? I don't know how they're going to convince people to buy stuff while they poop. While they're doing their stuff. They have to find a way. I think they will. But at the end of the day, I have disagreements with the way that the platform is working, which is engaging you so that you don't want to live from this stupid thing that you want to do for 2-3 hours. So you don't go out of it to go buy something because you are phasing out. So you just want to do a meaningless thing for 1-2 hours. And the other thing is that I think that the algorithm is not strong enough yet, because in Facebook the algorithm is strong because, for example, you take a picture with your dog and it understands that you have a dog. You speak Chinese with your friend and it understands that you speak Chinese even if you don't put it as your language. You are going outside for a drink and it understands that you like this or that or the music that you hear or whatever. So it understands all of these things because you give the information to that. I don't know how the TikTok algorithm is going to understand. It's going to understand if someone has a dog, because it's going to do videos with them, but it's not going to understand other stuff because everybody's doing these stupid things on TikTok that they don't show their actual behavior. So I think that we should not be unfair with TikTok. TikTok is just a new platform that needs a very sophisticated algorithm, which is going to help it populate all of these interests that we have on Facebook, which these interests on Facebook are being populated by the data that people gave for so many years. They're just fueling with information this algorithm on Instagram now, more on Facebook it was before, and this algorithm has all of this data. But with TikTok, we don't have that yet, and we have to give it time. If you are a big advertiser, give some time and start advertising from now so that you will be ready when the time comes. Because yes, TikTok eventually is going to be a huge platform that you would not have the luxury of neglecting. Now, that's all for my remarks here. I have 2 comments that I want to show, and then we will have some freelancer diaries and we will close. How much time do we have? I promise to share that it's not going to be a long video, but it was again. Anyway, comment. Hi Konstantinos, I love your content. Thank you very much. One quick question, please. The video about LLA, do you still use the same LLA 1%, 3%, 10%? Thank you so much. Now, Stack Lookalikes is still working very well. The only thing that has changed is that I'm doing also CBOs with 1%, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, whatever. I'm doing also Stack Lookalikes with 1% instead of 10% only. And one last remark is that I have seen that 1% lookalike is working very well lately. So we are going back to the normal situation that 1% is very good. Okay, so the battery just died. So I'm continuing from the previous place. So what I was saying for the comment from Mohammed is that I'm using again CBOs that they have different lookalikes to it. Back some, let's say 6-7 months ago, I wasn't using 1% anymore because it wasn't working. I can see that 1% is working, so I'm still including it now in my CBOs of using different lookalikes. 1%, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. I can even use stacked lookalikes with crazy method and 1%. And I'm using still 10% lookalikes for bigger pixels that they can actually make something out of it. But yes, start using again 1% lookalikes. I think that you will see that they're having some good results. Let's go to the next. Great content, thank you, bro. Do you have views to share on how Facebook keeps changing the terms of service for advertisers? For one particular aspect that jumped to my attention, I read that they are making advertisers responsible for the security of their account, and that doesn't feel right. Can't tell if it was always like that, but that definitely feels being moved as a primary point. So, um, first of all, whatever I have, I'm going to say it here on the podcast, which is the best way for you to stay super updated. The next thing that I want to say about that is that I know one case where an advertiser got banned when while he wasn't the owner of the business, while he was actually just an admin on a Facebook page. What happened is that this company was having very high sales and it was stocking out. So it was telling to people that you can pre-order for when we're going to have the next stock. The problem is that a lot of times people, they tend to forget, they are toxic, I don't know. They most probably in the survey that they were having from Facebook, they were saying that they didn't receive their product. And then Facebook gave actually bad rating to the page. The page got banned when it went below 1.8. And then the owner of the page didn't get banned, but let me think. But the advertiser who was admin was banned, and there was a message that was saying that the advertisement of this page got restricted, and one of their admins got banned from advertising. So this is the only case that I know that this has happened. This is why I think that everybody should operate not with their personal ad accounts inside other businesses, and of course not being admins to the Facebook pages. Back in the days, so maybe 6, 7 months, 8 months ago, I don't remember, you were not able to have just this toggle button that you have into your business settings for the page, which was all about manage Facebook ads. You were having only admin access and different things like content. Now there's a new thing over there that it says manage ads. So I don't think that you should have admin access to all of this, but you should just manage the ads access to the page so that you won't have any responsibility if the owner is doing bad stuff or whatever. Okay, so be careful with the kind of permissions that you have. You just need the basic permissions and don't get admin access to everything. I know that admin access makes your life easier to work with, but I can tell you that it also brings the risk of getting banned if anything crazy happens. Now, that being said, let's go to my freelancer diaries things. Let's see what we have for today. So what did I pick? It says Facebook ads, daily sales lead generation campaigns. Okay, this one. So it says the client needs Facebook lead generation campaign set up with retargeting pixels. If it says the client, then it means that most probably it's an agency. The target audience is people who make 100K plus per year. All males, 35 to 70 years old, United States. Lead generation is for an investment offer. 10K minimum investment. You need to target investors. You will need to set up ads, lead generation mail forms. The client will need 30 to 50 fresh new leads daily. So let's take my calculator here. So if the minimum investment is 10K, 10K multiplied with 30, quick math over here, it's 300,000. The question is, do I need a calculator to know that? No, but bear with me. So we have 300,000. So they want to make 300,000 daily, okay, by finding these people, which makes me to wonder, by the way, I talked with these people, which makes me wonder how much they're going to spend. Do you know how much they wanted to spend with that? They wanted to spend 1K per day. So if we decide to divide this with 1,000, that means that these people wanted 300 ROAS daily. Okay? And it makes total sense. By the way, they wanted to pay also $500 for that. So if you make them 300 ROAS daily, they are going to pay you $500 for the month, and they are going to have how much is this also in a month? 300,000 multiplied by 30. So basically, you're going to generate for them $9 million. Very good deal. So these are by the way, not most probably, I know it, the agency owner took a deal with them, most probably just because he was desperate to find a client, and he told them that he can do that and he's going to get paid only on commission. Well, I can tell to any one of you actually, okay, and if you want, you can do it, that if you go to Australia and you find gold for me, I'm going to pay you a commission based on what you're going to find. Nice deal, huh? So go and find some gold or diamonds, bring them to me so that I can sell them. And then when you do all of that, I will give you 10% out of it. It's going to make a lot of money because we're going to sell diamonds for millions. So next one. And the next two are actually focused on how long and how patient some people can be. By the way, hide their names over here so that we can be safe. It says, blah, blah, the name. Okay, her name is Jennifer. It doesn't say anything. Jennifer knows what kind of output she wants. It took us a few revisions for basic collage layouts. She sent me the necessary material and she was amiable and patient with her feedback. However, she usually takes a while to respond, and the simple project that I initially thought would only take a month or so took nearly a year. I haven't been fully paid. So basically this person started with a person and it took them with back and forth questions a year. It doesn't make any sense. By the way, the fixed price over here that we can see, it's $66. And the project, as he already stopped responding months back, not having briefed me with the instruction for the remaining layouts to complete the project. So this person was actually for $66 was working for one whole year trying to complete something. But guys, this is nothing compared to the patience that the next Freelancer Diaries picture here has. So I also like to watch the history of some jobs, and there was this one that says build crowdfunding website and database. It was the name of the job. And the fee was on 500. And the first thing that I have seen is the 1-star. This is why I read it. And it says, client never cleared the requirement and this contract is on hold for almost 7 years. So this guy took the $500. No, he didn't take the $500. It's a fixed fee. Most probably it was cleared after. So this guy was patient enough to wait for 7 years. For all I know, maybe this client actually died. Or whatever, okay? So he waited for 7 years in order to close this contract, okay? So congrats to this person for being super patient for actually 7 years, waiting to get his payment. I have never seen a person with such a big patience, and good for him. Yeah, good for him. Anyway, that's all I had, guys. I hope that you liked the podcast. I tried to make some different remarks here today with the different things that they stimulate my interest or that I feel like we should discuss together, even if I'm talking on my own. And I will see you in the next podcast next week. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.